You guys, I can't even today. I'm like so tired right now, it's ridiculous. This is my third cup of coffee. I can't get up and it's already 3 freaking PM, okay? And the weather is horrible. It's been horrible for like 2 weeks. Sorry for the background music. Music sawing, okay? Yeah, the weather been horrible for like more than a week right now. I'm still waiting for an opportunity to make the video about my pansies, and I finally decided time to get my flip-flopping together and finally make the video, even though the weather is not the best. It's constantly raining. And so yeah, this Friday, 2 days ago. Right now it's Sunday. You'll probably be seeing this video on Monday or whenever I get around doing it. I was hanging around in a party, drag racing, actually. Looked at drag racing. I don't know if that's legal, but I don't really care. With my friend, Martha. She's a new friend of mine. A friend of a friend, but we've become really freaking good friends. We're like freaking soulmates or some stuff. And, so yeah, we went to a drag race. It was really fun. There was a bunch of people over there. Hope you like the panties in the background. Love them. This is good introduction, I suppose. So yeah, so every single day she's like trying to drag me by my legs out of my freaking house to go and join her in some fun activities, and I really appreciate that. Even today, she's like, "So we're going to the different city. Want to come with us?" And I'm like, "No." That's the kind of a day I'm having today. And after all, I'm having like work tomorrow and I have to wake up like what 7. So, don't really want to go anywhere. I want to finally feel like a human again because like at Friday I worked until 6 and then I had a party and holy gazungas. So yeah. I appreciate her taking me to places and doing stuff together with her. I'm in a good mood, but I'm not in such a good mood that I'm willing to run everywhere. The people who actually know me quite closely know that I have my, what do you call it? Um, signature good mood where I'm running across the walls and I'm just freaking screaming and I go bonkers. I get that kind of a good mood. People ask me, have I smoked stuff? And yeah, and they also kind of freak out when I get a really good mood, but like, I'm a sunshine, deal with it. I'm a sunshine, I'm intense. So I mean, like, honestly speaking, the fake people who freak out when I start running across the walls, they're just pathetic. Just pathetic. So yeah, let's move on to the video. I think the introduction this time is going to be a little bit longer than the actual content itself, but we're going to take a look on my pansies, even though they're bloody soaking and covered in mud, but I gotta make this video because it's about bloody time. So yeah, thanks for joining me, by the way. Yeah, he said that as it's beginning to rain. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, let's begin the video with taking a look at the soaking pansies. These are the, common large-sized Viola wittrockiana pansies. You can see they're looking quite gorgeous while being covered in raindrops. It's a trademark quality of my country that the weather is absolutely unpredictable. So yeah, these are the blue ones. I really love these ones, especially the pure blue ones. These are heavenly. I think these were called Delta Blue or whatever. Here's my big pot of various red pansies. These are my favorite. I utterly adore them. Look at them, they're so precious. I just could have pots full of red pansies, honestly. And there in my new balcony of the new house, I'm sitting over here. We're about to move in, actually, in a few months. So yeah, look at these. They are so gorgeous. How can you resist them? They sometimes fade, as they get older. I don't like that, but some of them, remain quite red. I especially like this one. Look at the shape of it. Look. Oh, this is going to be the thumbnail of this video. Brilliant. So yeah, look, I really love the round shape, the full lip, the pattern, the color. It's a beautiful one. It's a really beautiful one. And here's my golden ones. An orange pansy. Really adore this color. And here's my big floopy yellow ones. They get damaged by the rain the most easiest, you know. These white markings on them are purely from rain, I think. And the key to, you know, keeping your pansies blooming all the time in a, you know, bushy manner is taking off these old blooms so they wouldn't start producing seed, because the moment your pansies produce seed is when they you know, stop producing abundant flowers and slowly shut down. So yeah, we will see more of these big flowered pansies in my garden, but for now, you know, hope you enjoyed them. You gotta have some of these too, not only the species violets. So here is my flower bed full of pansies, species, and the big large hybrids and stuff like that. I recently planted them here, but they have been rained upon, so you can't really see them that well. I've yet to put name tags on them. I have grown various from seed. Some of these are also naturally sown in my garden, so I just picked out the best looking ones. And so on and so forth. You will see the names of these ones pop up on the screen, so you could, you know, make them out a little better if I don't remember from the top of my head. So this one is an American species. This flowers really abundantly. It's really floriferous and really abundant. It's it has a really large size. Forgot how it was called, unfortunately. I just learned its name very recently. So yeah, look at its blooms. This is violet. You know, the ones which I showed you a bit earlier, you know, these ones in the center of the screen, those are basically speaking pansies. But these are known more as being violets because the Viola genus of these flowers separates into two parts. The, what do you call them? Millennium, the new pansies, and the violets, you know, and these are the representatives of the violets, while these ones over here, they're the representative of pansies. So this species over here, I would really recommend it because it creates large clumps with very abundant flowers. As you can see, it has been recently transplanted, so it doesn't, you know, have the flower power as it could have. But next year, all of these are going to look better because first off, they're in a better place, and second off, they need to get established. This is my first Viola canina. I don't remember where I got it from. It's a dog violet. It has beautiful blue flowers. It's really gorgeous. I have some of these growing natively quite close by. This one used to be a big bush, but as you can see, it's a bit set back, but it's gonna live. You know, pansies and violets are quite resilient. It's hard to kill them off, actually. And these are the rest of the Viola canina, or the dog violets. They have a little bit of a color variation. I really appreciate the ones with the pure light blue color. I'll probably insert a couple of pictures of them over here. As you can see, they are battered. They're not that good, but here you can see, you know, one flower of them for an example. It's quite gorgeous, isn't it? The way you identify the various species of violets is most usually by the flower morphology. You can see this, what do you call it, peduncle at the back of the flower. That's one of the traits you mainly identify Viola species from. And you can see this one, it's not focusing that well, has a more purple, you know, protrusion in the back. I think this is riviniana, Viola riviniana, and this is Viola canina. They're all very similar, but a very, you know, distinctive trait of the violets versus pansies is that violets bloom from the, you know, middle of April until the beginning of June, I think. They have a very limited blooming period. And here's my Viola mirabilis, the miracle violet. It has a very beautiful shape. You can grow them purely for the sake of the leaves, because their leaves are kind of reminiscent of water lilies. They create these umbrella-shaped leaves, on top of which they create cleistogamous flowers. That means they never open, so they self-pollinate and produce seed like that. But the mirabilis is one of the earliest blooming violet species, and here you can see some seed pods already developing. Hope they focus. So yeah, this is one of the earliest blooming ones. The earliest blooming one is the odorata, the fragrant pansy, but this is a close next. So yeah, these are my Viola odorata. Yeah, they're not in the best shape right now because yes, they've been transplanted and they're in a little bit of a shock, and they're also soaking, but yeah, I mean, in the future you will see better videos of all of these plants, but right now I'm just giving an introduction to this series of pansies. And the odorata is very easy to notice because of the shape of its leaves. It has a little bit of a hairy situation going on, and it creates these rosettes which don't have stems, you know. And look at mirabilis, it has stems going on. And violet genus has different categories within it of closely related plants, and this one together with odorata are more closely related, while the canina over here and the riviniana are more closely related to each other. And pansies, they're very fun to hybridize also. So the subgenuses within the genus Viola, they can breed with each other. I will show you some examples nearby, but in between the subgenuses, they can't really produce offspring, you know. This Viola and this Viola are not going to be able to, generally speaking, produce offspring, while the mirabilis and the canina are going to be able to produce offspring. And I will definitely be trying to do that in the future, so you can have something to look for, you know, wink wink. So yeah, also in the middle here, I don't know for sure, but this one I do believe is Viola wittrockiana. I got this from Lithuania actually. It's very exciting. It's very closely related to the canina and riviniana, but they are quite hard to distinguish. But you can see this is already quite a bit taller, so I'm sure this is wittrockiana. But in the future, probably next year though, I'm going to give you some morphological reviews on how you can, you know, identify them based on the blooms, so you can actually go and look around in your sector, you know, where you're living, and maybe you can identify them by yourself. Oh, it's really hard to do this while crouching. Okay, over here I have two wittrockianas. These are big flowered, you know, garden pansies. You can see it has an utterly humongous size, and this is the red one. They open and they have a smaller size. You can see this shape bloom is a bit battered. I showed you this in my May orchid you know, collection update video, so here is how it looks. It opens up, it has a burgundy color, but as it matures it becomes a little bit more pink, you know. So yeah, I got specifically these ones so I could breed them with my regular small flowered pansies over there, but these ones are going to bush up really nicely. An interesting thing to mention about pansies is that the pansies themselves, you know, there are two groups, pansies and violets. The pansies, they are biennials, you know, they last for 2 years or one, you know. They usually wither away when they have produced enough seed, you know, especially the ones who are horticulturally selected. So these ones will only probably last for 2 years in your garden, while the violets over here, this odorata for example, it will grow and bloom for many years, but of course their blooming season is much shorter. So let's move on to my favorite actually pansy. This row over here is what I call myself as Viola Daenerys. You can see it has a very deep magenta purple color, and in the middle it has a lilac, zone, which I call the eye. I got this was the original strain of Pansies which I got for myself, growing nearby in my neighborhood actually, and I have also already bred them. A couple of lineages created by myself, as you will see farther on, and I really like their blooms. I really like this color, it's my favorite. The name is inspired from Game of Thrones actually, so yeah, Viola Daenerys. And here is a bit of a more ombre situation. The light are fading, on top of the petals. So these are not pure strains, but they are as close as to original as they can be. I will of course insert a couple of pictures. So yeah, these are some regular Pansies, more or less Viola tricolor, but I do suspect these are just, you could say, degenerated varieties, which are descended from the big bloomed garden Pansies. But these were self-sown in my garden, so I find them very attractive. I would like to keep some of these strains in the future so they could, look just good. Wild little flowers, look at this. This is utterly gorgeous. If I'm gonna breed them, I'm probably label them and give them some names, but I know for a fact that this one is a progeny from Daenerys. You can see here, but it has lost its, color distribution trait. So it has lost the eye, but it's very gorgeous nevertheless. And here's a more solid blue variety. Look at this. This is just gorgeous. I really like this one. This is more contrasting with a, noticeable yellow middle part. Here is a very pale variety. It's also very cute, very adorable. I would definitely like this one. This could be a hybrid between the Viola arvensis, It has very tiny white flowers. And this is another one. Probably also a descendant from the Daenerys strain. I usually notice that the Daenerys, which lose its eye trait, have this little, darker spot on the lip. It's a remnant, you could say. And here's another one with a very deep color and a yellow center. By autumn, all of these will have bushed up to be big plants with a lot of blooms. So they're going to be absolutely gorgeous. And here is a Daenerys type, which has a very strong bleaching effect on the top petals, which I call ombre. I actually know the parent which gave this trait to this one, and I will probably insert some pictures. But yeah, you can see it's very unique, very beautiful. But it weeds out a bit. It has this crawling large shape. I don't like it that much. And here's the species, Viola cornuta, the horned violet. It's native to the area of Great Britain. Maybe some of you have noticed this one. You can see the color and the shape of the flower is very distinct, but this still belongs in the category of Pansies. And this is one of the founding species of the big, large flowered horticultural, strains. And it is fragrant, and it gives a smaller, bushier shape. This is a very compact Pansy. It gives the, hybrids a more compact shape. While the usual Viola tricolor, this is basically the general appearance of Viola tricolor. They stem out. They are, weedy. It's not a very appealing trait. And here I'm gonna give you a look on some of my hybrids between the Daenerys. This is my hybrid, which I have created myself. It was between the Daenerys and a big, large, light blue Viola wittrockiana, which I showed you earlier. And you can see it has a very different, character to it, and I really love it. I call this breed God's Eye, you know. Yeah, and you can just appreciate this. It's very lovely. This is a strain which I am selecting, and this is a descendant of one of those strains, but it has lost its eye, but it has a very beautiful bluish purple color. And here are some more examples of the God's Eye strain, which I have selectively bred, but these ones have not come into bloom quite yet. So I think this is all that I have to show you in my little, flower area. So I'm just gonna show you a couple of random pansies which are self-sown from the God's Eye strain, like this one. I don't find them particularly appealing, but the good thing about pansies is that they will self-sow and spread all over your garden like beasts. You can see this one has the eye and very deep, gorgeous flowers. I really appreciate this one. This is a keeper. And you can see it bushes up quite nicely. It usually does that in the second year. And the ones which I don't prefer, like these three over here, I will just weed them out. I don't like them. They are beautiful, but I don't need them. So I will weed them out, and this will continue producing seeds and will create a lot of progeny and take over the garden. So I can, just free-handedly select the ones which I like. Here's a good example over here of a type of a God's Eye which I really appreciate. Look at this one. It has a larger bloom, a roundish shape, a lovely color, and a lighter center. It's not florist pansy standards, because I'm aiming towards that. I will explain what florist pansy means in the future video. But yeah, this is a very good example of what I could be striving towards. And this is a bad example of what this strain is capable of actually producing. This is what I would call a degenerate. It has lost the traits which I prefer. That doesn't mean it's bad or unhealthy, but I just don't like it, so I'm going to weed it out. And by doing that, create the selection process and eliminate the ones which I don't like and leave the ones which I do like, so they could continue producing offspring which I could select from. So I think that is about it, what I wanted to show you for now. I will show you a quick peek at some of my self-sown large flowered pansies over here. This one is quite beautiful. It has a very unique color. Look at this. It's a mixture between purple and yellow. This is very peculiar. And this is the Viola wittrockiana. It has a very large shape, and it has this dark face in the middle, which is surrounded by the eye actually. And many of the hybrids you can purchase in the flower shops actually have this specific trait. And here it's one of its siblings over here. That was wind. Here's one of its siblings, so you can see it's not as gorgeous as the one I just showed you. A couple more are over here. And these are all self-sown. So if you just leave the most beautiful ones in your garden and take out the ones which you don't like, they will, take care of their own spreading by themselves. So you can have very, very exciting color combinations going on without putting a lot of effort into it. And here are some of the wild self-sown Daenerys hybrids, like this one for example. It's battered and I don't really like it, but this one over here, that's a really nice one, and you can see it's very similar to the ones which I have showed you. It's a God's Eye. Here's another one. You can see it's very distinct, and the lighter bit in the middle is quite small, but it's still cute. And here is another one. And this is crossed by itself with the larger, you know, sized Viola wittrockianas. And it's very curious. I don't like this one, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting sight to behold. I definitely recommend growing pansies. They are a hell of a lot of fun, and they will take care of their own spreading by themselves with minimal efforts, provided you take off the, you know, old blooms like this, so they would bush up and bloom stronger. So basically speaking, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Give me a like if you enjoyed it and want more of it. So stay tuned for more videos relating to violets in the future. Bye bye for now. Okay, this is a little bit of a spoiler. This is the new garden which my family bought, mainly my father and brother. They had a deal where my brother helps buy this property, and that he gets the house that we are living in, which is, you know, behind this house, and then we move into the big greenhouse over here. So yeah, I'm going to do a garden tour a little bit in the future. I'm also excited about that, but right now I wanted to talk about my plans with my mother. So we have a lot of vegetables which we want to plant, so I think I'm gonna dig a big square over here, so we would have room for a lot of peas and onions and dill and all that good stuff, radishes and stuff like that. So I'm gonna dig a big square over here, so we would have somewhere to plant, because that garden is already full. So yeah, we will have like a video talking about the gardening shenanigans in the future, but having 100 gardens is definitely a lot of work, and we will have to completely redo this whole garden. But not this year, next year, because we have to finish the house. Actually, we are only a couple of people, so there's a lot of stuff to do. You can't do everything at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna get started, and yeah, I will show you the progress if you're interested in seeing that, but that will be more in depth for another video. Okay, I'm finished with this lot. Time to have a smoke, and then I'll finish knitting this stuff up, and then we can actually start getting to planting some peas and some vegetables around here. So yeah, pretty exciting. Hope you like it. Paperino! Paperino! Okay, so this is how this plot looks like. All the ground has been tilled or turned upside down. This is about a 3 times 3 meters big plot over here. All of these weeds are apparently going to decompose, as my family members are telling me to not worry about. There being some weeds over here, so yeah, it's looking good, and in the nearest time we're gonna start planting things here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek at all regular gardening activities over here. So yeah, so here's just a little bit of a view on all the gorgeous weeds growing on around here. I mean, they are weeds, but they still look quite handsome. It's already the evening, but when it was midday, all the dandelions and stuff like that were looking really nice together in this composition, but we will have to mow all of these down in the soonest while. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Give me the thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want more of it. So yeah, stay tuned for more, and bye for now.